Hello strangers, welcome to my channel. Here's a video of me cramming for my exams. I have 10 days before the exam and I have been so stressed because I feel unprepared. I can't seem to wake up on time these days because it's so cold and I just don't feel like getting out of the comfort of my bed. But I have to make it this time, or at least that's what I've been telling myself. Today's study has been divided into 5 sessions, 2 hours each. I've started my revision for economy and geography subjects, and these days I've been focusing on making sure that I have quick revision notes for each subject and I'm not missing out on any topics. So I'm preparing for 2 separate exams at a time, which is really overwhelming, but it is what it is. In the first session, I studied economics, so I've been following this initiative by Dr. Shivan for prelims, and so far it's going good, and I've been able to keep up with the pace. Economics used to be a subject that I disliked so much, but just as the saying goes, fake it till you make it. I have been faking my feelings for economics, and it's been doing wonders. Also, my friends have played a greater role in fulfilling these emotions because whenever I have doubts, I go to my friends and they explain it in the lingo I understand. Also, I don't know if anybody does this, but I don't have a fixed daily routine because I feel bonded that way. But instead, whenever I start studying, I make sure that I have a timer or a clock in front of me. That way I can study better. I feel that studying is something that everybody does uniquely. Some are morning person, then the other are night owls. What matters at the end of the day is staying consistent, and productivity will follow. That's just what I believe. Don't quote me on this. Also, I could have made a video without voiceovers, but I planned on doing so because I wanted to improve on my oratory skills, because having beautiful thoughts in your head is one thing, but being able to serve those thoughts in words is another. And this year I made a very realistic resolution to be a better version of myself in every which way possible. Cliche, isn't it? But I digress. Coming back to my studies, in the second session I studied geography. Third session I read newspaper and current affairs. In the fourth session I went through the previous year's question papers and mock tests for the upcoming exam. And lastly, I ended the day by completing all the miscellaneous topic that I was supposed to complete and revising whatever I've studied throughout the day. Alright, I may sound dumb for saying this, but I've only discovered recently the importance of revision. I mean, I always heard people overemphasizing about revision, but I'm a person that doesn't learn my lessons until I go through it myself. So I won't compromise my revision this year, come what may. Today I was able to study for 10 hours, but that doesn't happen every day. There are so many factors that determines how much I can study a day. For starters, I have very noisy neighbors. There are times when I study only for 4 hours a day, while there are other good days when I can go on to study for 12 hours a day. But beyond 12 hours is just unrealistic to me, but I make sure not to detach myself from my studies, because as soon as I get the taste of break for even a day, I become so lazy and it takes the universal energy to get me back on track. So I try my best to study at least 2 hours even on my worst days. One realization I've had recently is that whenever I study for long hours, I feel like God's own incarnation on earth. Just kidding, but the sentiment is that I feel so good about myself and I feel unstoppable. But I also cry on days when I am studying a topic and I can't seem to understand those topics. I just feel like a burden on this earth, born with all the stupidity there is. Let me know if you also feel the same way. Well, as I grow older, I'm slowly learning not to fixate on things that are not in my hands. For example, what I do now is when I don't understand something, I leave the topic for the time being, because our brain gets overload. Just like whenever there is a lot of data on your phone and the memory is almost full, it starts to function very slowly or starts to hang. Well, imagine that is a machine. We are only inferior humans, right? So when you don't understand something, it's not because you're stupid, rather it's a sign for you to slow on the consumption of data. This is more like a message for myself. Yeah. Anyways, besides studying, I have nothing much to do. So sometimes I go for small walks in the neighborhood, but most of the time whenever I'm free I try to read. Recently I've picked up the book Pyre by Perumal Murugan, which is a very poignant tale about Saroja and Kumarasen, who belongs to different castes but gets married. It has a sad ending, so if you're into happily ever after kind of story, this book is not for you. Oh, happy Bushudima to everyone. For context, it's 27th January today, and I belong to one of the many tribes in Nagaland called Dimasa Kachari. And every year on 27th January, we celebrate a harvest festival called Bushudima. So that is why, happy Bushudima to everyone. Though I haven't been able to attend the festivities for a few years now, but festivities shouldn't stop. We should all celebrate. Hope all of you have a very prosperous year ahead and take only positivity of the previous years and burn your negative energy before entering into this new year. I bless thee. Another practice, I don't know if it's good or not, that I've been following lately is not procrastinating about the time that I study. For instance, earlier what I used to do was I will decide a specific time for studying, let's say 9 o'clock. But when I sit down to study, it's already 9:10, for example. Because of unforeseen circumstances, then I'll tell myself I'll study at 9:30. But again, let's say I miss the 9:30 mark again, then I'll go on to procrastinate again and then tell myself let's just study from 10 o'clock onwards. And by doing this, I am not getting any work done. Rather, I only get stuck in a vicious cycle of finding the right time to study. But let me tell you this, there's no right time to study. Whenever you sit on your chair, that is the right time. This is the reason why I said earlier that I don't have a fixed routine. I only have broad targets of what I will do in a day. This way, I am able to finish my targets in an efficient way. As soon as I enter my study space, I put a timer of 2 hours, put my phone on do not disturb mode, and study for 2 hours undistracted without any kind of distraction. Because 2 hours, I put the timing as 2 hours because that is the most I can focus at a time, after which I need maybe 10 minutes or 5 minutes break in order to refresh my mind. This way, I feel less rushed and I'm able to get things done in a more effective way, because the goal is not to read all the materials that I have, but to retain the information in the material and to use those information in my exam. I say the goal is not to read all the material, because what is better? Little knowledge about everything and not being able to answer any questions properly in the exam, or studying the topics properly and retaining the information required and scoring solid marks during your exams. Well, again, this is subjective and it may differ based on your opinion, but my opinion is inclined to the latter. There are so many things that I do on my own accord, which again, there is no way of confirming if it's right or wrong, but you do you and I do me. And this time and age when we have so many random people on the internet telling us what to do and what not to do, I think I want to be a person that listens to myself, my stupid self. I'm saying this in the context of the preparation. And for me, social media is a place where I go to have fun, to get away from my monotonity in life. So it's not for me to listen to what people say I should do and what I shouldn't do. So yeah, that's my opinion on social media. Very random, but yes. This just proves my point that I can't talk without digression, and is exactly why I want to talk more. And since I do not have a lot of people around me that I can talk to, I do have friends, but everybody has their own life and not everybody has time to listen to everything that you want to say. So that is why I want to talk more on this platform, so that I have clarity in the things that I want to say. So basically, I want to find the thought that truly resonates with me, and someday I will do it. Alright, coming back to the point of my studies, by the time I am into the fourth session of my studies, which starts after I have my dinner, I become really tired and I just want to go and take great rest, but I know that I cannot afford to do that because as soon as I go to my bed, I know that I'll sleep or I'll want to binge watch some videos, and I'll just waste my time that way. And so yeah, and lastly, I would like to say, before I started my preparation, I had a misconception that sitting and studying for long hours is no big deal. But once I started doing the same, my myth have been broken so brutally into 1,000 pieces. And I never want to pick up those broken pieces, because there's no denying that life is tough and grass is always greener on the other side. And also because that's what makes me the person that I am. I do not know what life has in store for me, but one thing I know for sure is I want to be a person who is empathetic yet not naive, bold yet not insensitive, happy yet willing to share the happiness. I hope this is a goal that I can fulfill even if I am a nobody. Anyways, thank you so much for watching the video till the end, and make sure to like, share and subscribe. And I think I will be making more contents relating to studies and just me ranting about random things, and maybe some content related to books that I read. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.